Hello folks, boatbrew.com here, Arnold Builds at the mic, finishing up the overview of Shadows over Innistrad, because right now we got the full spoiler. Well, not right now, a day or two ago, but now I got time to actually talk about this, wrap up this series. So when I'm gonna look at the rares and mythics that I haven't looked at and discussed about in terms of playability and constructed, so I'm gonna do that. And then if I see a bunch of very cool commons and uncommons that I like, I'm gonna talk about them with regard to limited. So let's go. Hydra is just a vanilla guy, so nothing that cool for constructed, I think. Seasons Past is kinda awesome. I'm not sure how it will fit, but even though for 6 mana you get to return a bunch of cards from your graveyard to your hand, so there was a similar card in the old Mirrodin. It costs 5 mana, only 1 green, and then you would return back cards of different color to your hand, so up to 5 basically. This one can return way more, and it's much more flexible, I think, because cards with different mana costs could be sharing the same color, and I think overall it's much more flexible card, so I think it will see more play. And it's been a while since we had this kind of card in standard. We only had the card that was free any and 2 green, bring 2 cards back from your graveyard to your hand. This one can be much more busted, I think. It has a lot of potential. Rich Bandit, the new Reds werewolf, is okay. I like it as a card, but I don't think this is something that will actually push werewolves into playability. Then Cryptolyph, right? It's been a card that has been discussed a lot. Basically, people are now thinking about infinite combo with this card, and because about a lot of token makers, and especially a bunch of cards from New Eldrazi block, cards that make a bunch of science, this could become kind of awkward, because you can get a lot of mana, and because science for sacrifice make mana. So I think there is infinity combo somewhere there to get a lot of mana. I just don't know yet, but probably there is one there, and if there is one, then this card will pick up, because at the very least we got a lot of fireball kind of cards in standard right now, so finishing your opponent with infinite mana shouldn't be a problem, even if you don't get a infinite draw loop or anything like that. Then Guide's Blight is interesting. I do like it probably more in constructed than unlimited, but it's still a removal for limited, and if you have a control deck, that means you do get some good number of instant sorceries, so you can actually use the second ability of it sometimes and get a double removal. I do like this card for some reason in sealed, because especially if you manage to build the control-ish deck, then having doubles on your removals could be very good. Even though in sealed, like, you would still face a lot of creatures, but while people are saying that it's probably not gonna be that awkward in sealed, I still think that you might end up with several piles for different tribals, and none of them would actually appeal to you, so you would have to kind of balance it out somehow. And cards like Guide's Blades can shift you towards a generally flexible control deck without actually needing to get maximum value out of your tribal pools and sealed at the Perilous. Autumnal Gloom is kinda weird. Okay, for 1 black you get to mill yourself for 1, and then it becomes a trample hexproof? Oh yeah, I guess I like that. I guess I do like that. It fits itself, and then you get this, but then again you kind of spend a lot of mana for this thing. But if your deck really needs Delirium, if you have some zombie synergies and stuff like that, then it's probably worth it, all that money investment and stuff. What else is new, really? Oh, that's interesting. Uncommon, look to the right. Veteran Cathar. 2 mana 2/2, okay, it's human. Right creature type, it's green. So it fits into that archetype, yes. For 4 mana without tapping, with a single white, target human gains double strike. This is absurd. For limited, this is very good, I think. And then this uncommon wolf, 3 mana free to trample, which is okay. And then for 4 mana, attacking wolf or werewolf gains indestructible end of turn. That's also pretty good, I think, for limited. It's a very nice cycle. Probably the spirit one is the least broken, but I could see it doing some work. Basically, you can block with a spirit and then just bounce it, so kind of nice tempo / survival mode. The zombie one, what it does, okay, it gets you a zombie, and then a zombie gets death touch. I don't know, maybe this is even weaker than the spirit one for limited, probably. The vampire one is just okay, it's not one of the strongest one. Definitely not. I'm not sure whether it's behind the zombie one. Probably still before it. But I like the other 3 Naya colors ones more than the rest. Vessels. Vessels are good to fit your delirium because it's an enchantment which you just sacrifice. I'm not super excited about like any of them. The red one could lead to something interesting in terms of deck building in standard and maybe even in modern. Okay, the blue one does mill you for free and you get to draw a card, but compare this card to something like Vodka, where it doesn't really compare that well, and then you pay 3 mana for pretty much the same effect, which is not even an instant. So you have to, like, it's also speed play this card. Yes, it fits Delirium, but that's a really high price, but I think we will have to play them to consistently switch on Delirium to get all the other bonuses. I suppose I like the green one out of these the most because I don't know how red will actually fare. Do we get enough big pull for something interesting, some new archetype, some combo deck in standard or in modern? So green one is just okay. It's I think very decent card in limited. Probably not constructed because we get a lot of similar cards which just cost 1 mana, something like that, or at least just 2. But Green Vessel is interesting because it's a card that you probably would play even with 0 Delirium in your deck. Whether the rest you would probably play just to switch on that ability. Compare the white one to something like Lingering Souls, okay, or Midnight Haunting. Fine, those are uncommons, but still you're paying essentially 5 mana for 2 1/1 flyers tokens. It's just not good price, not good price. Ever After is gonna be insane, I think, in constructed. it doesn't say zombies. Okay, the creatures become zombies, but it's 2 target creatures from your graveyard. Okay, you can't erase that like something from their graveyard, but that's fine. Okay, it costs 6, but it's 2 creatures. It's just a lot of value. And sure, it's a bit sad that it's like that much mana, but I think it's okay. And you get a lot of ways to actually mill yourself and stuff like that, or discard cards. There are lots of ways to bin something into your graveyard. The question is what you're gonna return back to your battlefield, so that's the question. And I don't think I know the answer yet. I haven't really thought about what creatures you would want to bring back. Okay, Olomogs and stuff, I think they shuffle in or not. I'm not sure. I think they don't. So if you can get back Olomog, of course, that's insane. But outside of that, there are now like giant flyers like we used to see in Standard with Pharaohs. And there is no Hornet Queen, things like that. No Ashen Rider. So I don't know what people will be bringing back. Star City guys been tweaking with this deck and bringing back what I saw was the blue flying zombie, because that version would empty its hand very quickly. I don't know yet. Okay, moving on. What's there? Oh, let's talk a few words about Devil's Playground. 6 mana, get 4 1/1s. Each can ping somewhere when they die. But it's a rare, so it's clearly good, but it's rare, so we're not gonna talk about it in limited. And it's not great in constructed. Okay, Town Gossipmonger. Okay, what does that gossip girl do? 1/1 and 1/1. It's human. Tap another untapped creature, or yeah, another untapped creature. Transform this. Has to attack each turn. Okay, you can pump it. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Maybe not as interesting for constructed, but unlimited probably good. But it's uncommon. Also, yeah, this cycle seems great. This not Transformers, but this row, except for, well, Counterspell is okay. It's probably worse than Circular Logic back in the days, but still okay. Okay, the switch spells, your opponent's cast a target. This thing costs 1 less to cast, but then when it dies, return it to the battlefield transformed. Under your control, attached to target opponent. Okay, so it becomes a curse. And then spells you cast a target inch by then spells that target them cost 1 less, and then you drain them for 1 life every turn. Yeah, I like this in limited. I'm not sure. Some people might try to construct it. I don't quite see it. I don't really see it. This is insane, by the way. Very awesome creature. Blocks or becomes blocked. Deals 1 to that guy, so it essentially has 3 power. Then if you didn't cast spells, you flip it. Then blocks or becomes blocked. You get to do 2 damage, so it becomes essentially 5 power guy. And then yeah, it could flip back if somebody casts 2 spells. I think this is pretty crazy and probably constructed playable for that respective archetype. Yeah, I think people should play it in their World Wolf stack and in standard, and seems really insane and limited, that's for sure. That's what I can tell you. The green one seems strong too. It's also werewolf. When they cast a spell during your turn, you get to draw a card. Well, that's not gonna be that insane and limited. Obviously very good and constructed, but then again you're paying 3 mana to get a 2/3 body. Okay, what does it do when you transform it? You draw 2 cards, then they cast a spell during your turn. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Yeah. Let's say I would play this card in Standard in the Werewolves, but probably in Sideboard. But the card is very strong. It's not like Voice of Resurgence busted, but and again, this is uncommon, and it gets you cards instead of tokens. I don't know what's better, but then it's like 3 mana, so on. But it's not a mythic after all. Bound by Moon Silver is definitely great and limited, potentially standard playable. Basically, their creature can block, can attack, can transform, and then for sacrificing another permanent, which means that in the later game, especially limited, you can just sacrifice a land and move this thing. Because, for example, if there's gonna be some mass removal or some sacrifice effects, then you probably want to get more value out of this card. Well, it's nice. It's nice. This is interesting. Essence Flex. I think I would play it in the comes into play kind of deck. Well, especially with spirits. It's basically a 1 mana blink for your creature only, unfortunately, but it's okay. That's what you want. So this basically helps you to dodge your removal, and if it's spirit, you get a counter for that creature. That's okay. Niche card, but very interesting in the right deck. And even if you don't have a bunch of spirits, but you have a bunch of comes into play effects, like that zombie for 4 mana that gets you a zombie when it comes into play, then you can do some cool stuff. Stranger, 3 mana 2/3, Delirium, pay 2, transform this thing. And then what do we get? Is a 4/3, and you can destroy a creature? Holy hell. I mean, yeah, okay, I'll play this unlimited. It's a bit conditional, but it's nice. It's nice. Skin Invasion, another transforming card. That creature has to attack. When that creature dies, this returns back into play transformed, and it's what? It's a 3/4. Yeah, for 1 mana I like this. For 1 mana this is pretty good. Potentially even constructed playable, because it's 1 red, and red deck wins is always a deck, and it's just a matter of the card pool. And I wouldn't actually mind playing something like that in there. Yes, it's an aura, so it has all the minuses of being an aura, but that's strong enough. It's strong enough, especially if you can spice it up with some non-Tukaha's kind of cards. Crawling Sensation. You can mill yourself for 2 every turn, and then what? When 1 or more lands actually get milled down, first time each turn you get a 1/1. Okay, it's a nice activator, but overall not a great card. Not a great card. Cult, when a permanent you control transforms, you get a wolf. Yeah, that's a nice, and it has good stats for 5 mana. It's nice. Grip's Bone, 1 white aura, +1 to attack and flying, and then you can return this thing back attached to a creature from your graveyard to play. That's only sorcery speed, but I guess that's fair. It's okay card, not super exciting, but it could get out of hand sometimes, probably. Just making your guys fly all the time. that Eliminator is probably even okay just as a 1 free flyer for 2 mana, I think. Something exciting. Very narrow. The bidding obviously is cool. You get 2/2s for 4 mana or for 3 mana. And we've seen that kind of card, and we've seen that it's actually good. Because it's almost like a reprint from the same kind of card in the original Innistrad, except that instead of a flashback for like 7 mana, you get a madness for 3 mana, which in this set is like pretty much the same kind of value, I guess. In a way, I guess I would prefer the flashback more than madness, but well, too much to ask for a set that is a lot about madness. I like the graph mall, man, like the green creature to the right of you right now. Oh, not to the right of you, to the right on the screen. You get a 2/4 for 3 mana, and when you sacrifice a clue, you gain 3 life. Damn. Basically, the mid-range you control deck in sealed and sometimes in draft. This is cool. You get a 2/4 for 3 mana that can attack, that doesn't have any downsides, and then you gain life for stuff that you want to do in the first place. So you do want to investigate a bunch and draw a bunch of cards, so that once you stabilize the board, you just bar your opponent at card advantage and just overwhelm them. Not Forgotten has a risk to be forgotten because it's a cool card, but I don't know, I have mixed feelings about it. You put a card from a graveyard to the top or bottom, and then you get a 1/1 spirit, and it's a sorcery. Interesting card to have in the set for limited. Could actually be very decent. Let's say have a bomb in the graveyard and you can put it back on top, and then you get a 1/1 flyer. Pretty fine deal. You get to negate some of the graveyard synergies, things like that. But I guess you would side in a lot of the time in sealed and in draft just to break opponent's delirium, just slow it down and get a 1/1. But also the option of putting a bomb from your graveyard to the top of your deck is nice too. So yeah, I guess it's good. I'm not in line with this card, but it actually seems very flexible, to be honest. Yeah, I guess it will be interesting and limited. Actually, the more I think about it, the more main deckable this card becomes. Fleeting Memories, 3 mana enchantments, enters play, you get a clue. When you sack a clue, then somebody put a mill's 3 cards. Interesting. Could be kind of funny. Not the best card, but in the right deck this could empower some very cool things. So okay, we get another Threaten. It costs 4 mana. You get to madness it for also 3 mana, but you also get to pump there, guys. So this is essentially Traitor's Instincts with madness. So strictly upgraded Instincts. Okay, I'll take it. What else is fun? Well, you would play Reckless Scholar, as well as the red counterpart of it. But like, you would play them both. This blue one and the red one, both are amazing looters. The cool part about the red one, even though it's 1 mana, not only it's a 2/2 instead of a 2/1, but then it has haste, so you can activate it straight ahead the same turn to try to dig deeper. So it essentially digs you 1 card deeper. Well, the blue one comes down 1 turn earlier. Yeah, they're awesome, and especially because of all the madness and delirium and stuff. You definitely want to play them in limited, that's for sure. Bit and Rain is cool, I like that. Probably we don't need this kind of card in Constructed, but because of madness, I'm not so sure, but we have so many cheap sweepers right now in all kinds of colors, so I don't know. But obviously in limited this is good. Inner Struggle was, I think, insane in Constructed and Standard before, specifically against zombie decks that ran Phyrexian Obliterator, I believe, because you kill it and they sacrifice 5 permanents. That was just busted. We don't have that in this set, so it's just okay. So it's just a fine limited card, but not a constructed playable one. Moonlight Haunt, target creature you don't control. Okay, and then this creature you control. So will deals damage. Yeah. Okay. Possibly even constructed playable because it's a like green removal for at instant speed for 2 mana. Definitely awesome in limited. I do like the picture and the whole flavor and the whole thing, and flavor and text and everything. Just so cool from design perspective. Moving on. Wow. Pale Rider. Interplay, you need to discard, but it's more of a bonus really than a downside in this set, because you want to discard because of madness and delirium and all the recursion. And Skulk is a evasion ability basically, kind of a. So they can't block it with big guys. So okay, they can block it with their free freeze, but it's 2 mana, free body, unlimited. Come on. It's sick. Well, not like that sick, but still nice. Uninvited Geist is okay. You basically get a hard to block guy that then transforms and becomes a free that they really can't block. It's okay, but I'm not very excited about it. But the Chaplain, 3 mana, 3/1 lifelink. Okay, that's not cool. But then 3 mana, exile this thing from your graveyard. Put 2/1 flyer tokens, and okay, that's only sorcerer speed, but that's still cool. So you got a fine creature, but then you reuse it and get a couple spirits after it dies. So yeah, that's cool. It also works with all the milling and discarding, etc. Tenacity. Oh wait, hold on. Let's talk about the Weirding Wood. 3 mana or 4 lands. You get to investigate when this comes in, and then enchanted lands has add 2 mana of any color. Yeah, I like this card a lot actually. For limited as well. Could enable really nice, sweet value based mid-range attacks and sealed. Definitely not a constructed card, most likely. But we've seen this kind of card actually being played in Standard before, but I would be surprised if this is played in Constructed. Tenacity, so what do you get? Oh yeah, it's a very good limited card combo trick. Just boost them for +1/1, but you get lifelink and you untap those creatures, so this might be a very huge life swing, so that could be just a huge turning point in limited. Staging's Cap, 4 mana free 1 flying, already good, and then 2 mana discard 2 and then return this from graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Are you kidding me? And it's a zombie? Oh my god. This is so sick. Well, this is not like still very constructed, but in limited, damn. I'm scared. I'm scared to play this set. I'm excited and scared at the same time to play my Paralyze. Necropod is Seems interesting, but I think it's a trap. I think it's a trap. Sacrificing a land at that late point is okay, and 7/7, which is hard to block for 6, is interesting, but I don't know. It would take balls actually to play this card, but it might be secretly insane and limited. The Widow Spider is definitely awesome. Reach can only block flyers, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You would main deck this card, I think. Still. Stancia Masquerades. Okay, Titan creatures you have first strike. This is not an order, this is just enchantment. When Vampire deals damage to player, put 1 counter on them, then discard his madness. Yeah, looks pretty busted in limited. I probably won't have space for this in constructed, even though it's a sweet card, but it's more of a combo trick for, no, not trick, but enhancement in limited, but nothing crazy. Okay, Mad Prophet I already talked about. Lamhole Pacifist. 2 mana free, let's start from that, and then it can't attack unless you have a big creature in play. Well, that's a bummer. But if you didn't play something, let's say on your turn 3, then you flip this into a 4/4. So that's okay. Let's say you had some nice instant for 3 mana, so yeah, this is nice. So werewolves can be pretty dangerous and limited. It seems just a lot of quick big bodies. Liliana's Indignation. Sorcery, X and a black, but mill top X, and then they list 2 for each creature card that was milled. I would say I would try this as a one-off in zombies. I would say I would try this in zombies as a one-off, because you want to mill creatures, so this seems pretty cool.